tuned in to the Keetria Show and listening to SOB, Style of Business, the podcast with your host, Keetria. We aim to highlight the ongoing trek of entrepreneurs and business owners from around the globe, featuring stories that recount their struggles, experiences, and inevitable road to success and self-fulfillment. Welcome to SOB.
This episode is supported by the wonderful creators of Gratitude Plus app, the app that helps you cultivate a daily practice of gratitude. What are you grateful for today? You can download the app now at the App Store or by visiting gratitudeplusapp.com/style of business. Hey, what's up, guys? Thanks for tuning in to another wonderful episode of SOB, Style of Business, the podcast. This is your host, Keetria. Today I have another wonderful guest. I'm speaking to the fantastic DeSean Brewer. This wonderful young gentleman is a content creator, producer, a publicist. He is the host of Teen Talk Vegas, and he is also the creator and host of his own show, which is Let's Talk Billions, which he is kicking up some dust. He's getting it started for us. So definitely looking forward to hearing more about this show and all the things that he's unveiling and all that other good stuff. So DeSean, do I have you with me? DeSean Brewer, go ahead and drop that introduction for us. Let's get rolling on this interview. Looking forward for you to dropping all the goods. And I think a lot of people are going to be surprised by this one. So let's go, DeSean. How's everything going today? How are you?
Well, thank you so much for having me on the show. It's definitely a pleasure. And as you stated before, my name is DeSean Brewer. I'm currently a college student attending the College of Southern Nevada, majoring in media communications. I aspire to be a publicist, but if that doesn't go well, I'm going to be a talk show host. So I'm trying to balance right. Both at the same time. So regardless if one doesn't go in my favor, I still have the other one to back me up.
Love it. Yeah. And that talk show host, I mean, that's one of the, I already see it, man. I was looking at some of your reels, the clips and stuff. So it's like, all right, it goes hand in hand. And, obviously you're a great communicator, and from what I've seen, it's already like, okay, this guy was born to do this. So I definitely feel the talk show part of it. But before we jump into that, give us a little introduction about how you actually got started. I know you're a student, you're a sophomore, correct?
Yes.
All right. Well, give us an introduction. Let us know how you actually got started with media, and then just getting into the whole content creation process, because you have a lot of stuff going on, and you were just featured on a local news station. I believe it was it
Channel 3? It was Channel 3 News of Las Vegas, and it was a wonderful experience. It was my first ever interview on national television, and I did really well. I surprised myself by how well I was speaking, but I was also prepared for that moment. I've been preparing for it for years. It was just like, okay, now it's here, and now I'm ready.
Yeah, you jumped into that with no issues at all. Like, I was like, okay, yeah, this guy is, hey, you will be on that media platform hosting your own show, and I think it's going to be a little bit sooner than you think, just based off of your enthusiasm and interest in the subject. And it seemed like it was natural from what I saw. So anyway, let you give us a little background of how you actually got into media and your interest in PR, and then let's keep it moving.
Well, actually, my story goes back all the way to high school. When I was in high school, I used to always love helping people. So I created the Black Student Union for my high school. And my high school was predominantly white. So when I created this Black Student Union, I wanted a place where all of us can actually just come and be as one. And that sparked my interest to even want to go to an HBCU. So when I first went out to my HBCU, which was Bethune-Cookman University, I was majoring in criminal justice because I love the law, but I also didn't like the way African Americans was being treated. So I was like, okay, so since I love to talk, let me just stay in this field and find a way to help my people. When I went off to college, I also started doing Teen Talk. I started doing Teen Talk because I was invited by one of my mentors to be interviewed for Black on Purpose Network. That was my first time actually being interviewed in front of a camera, but she loved exactly what I had to say, and the people who were filming me were actually the creators of Teen Talk. So they was like, hey, well, I loved your interview, and I would love to invite you to come on to Teen Talk. So I've actually been doing Teen Talk ever since October of 2016. And we have just now reached our 5-year mark because we've been around since 2015. And just working with this program, it actually gave me the knowledge I needed to know exactly what PR really meant. Because by us being a nonprofit, we didn't have any help or support. So everything I had to do, I learned on my own. Yeah. And through just Google and just meeting different mentors that would kind of help me along the way. And I will always show people exactly how I'm progressing so I can see what is it that I'm doing that needs to be changed. so my program can be more respected and more people can know about us.
Oh, wow. Yeah, and so with Teen Talk, I know that is primarily based on, the different issues that are happening during that time period in your life, so it's like, do you guys cover a certain age or a certain demographic? Because I know like you're in college, so what's the angle for the audience that you guys normally target?
We aim for ages 13 to 19, but because demographics are changing, just because our target audience is 13 to 19, we actually get a lot more college students and older people who want to hear from the teenager's point of view. And it's kind of crazy to me because we're speaking to teenagers, but a lot of older people and young college students really just enjoy listening. So I actually tried to shift the dynamics of this, actually included different college students. So I would only have a college student host the show. And as a host, your job is really just to put information out of your teens. You're really never supposed to talk over your teens, but you're just really trying to push them and spark a conversation based off their prior knowledge. And we don't use any scripts when we do go in there. The only person who will need a script is the host, just so they can see exactly the order of the show. Read the intro, so we do want the intros to be perfectly said because we have a lot of sponsors that do support us in the community. But outside of that, our actual teams who are on air, they don't have any script. It is just based off their prior knowledge and their love for the topic at hand.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's really great to hear. And as far as I know, like with you being a producer, is there a certain time, or there are certain topics that you guys aim to cover? Because I know like things change, so week by week, especially with you being a student, I'm pretty sure within the local community, maybe there's different issues and things like that are happening within your age demographic. But do you aim to cover like a specific type of topic or content?
Well, since Teen Talk has been creative, we covered every topic that's possible to the point we started to recreate the same topic, but to make it better.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha.
So it's no discrimination that comes to the topic. We try to cover anything from politics down to pop culture, positivity. We really just want our show to be a positive, the Shade Room. Because that is our goal. We love how the Shade Room visits, the Shade Room people are very, very active on their page. So when it comes to us doing that, we try to stay on the level of the Shade Room and the Breakfast Club, but coming from a team perspective and being very positive. Because we notice that we don't see any radio program that is a nonprofit doing exactly what we're doing. We want to be the first. So that's another reason why it meant everything to me to go to the Grammys to represent my radio program, because a lot of nonprofits don't do that. To the world, that's not obtainable. And because we didn't have a budget, we were still able to make it happen. So that's something I'm looking forward to. I will be at the Grammys next weekend. Yeah. January 24th to January 26th. So that's very exciting, as I said.
Yeah, and I know because you did last year, you were invited. No, you were just invited, and you will be attending this next coming up week, I believe. You mentioned to me. So tell me a bit about, so now you have Team Talk, and I know you were just discussing how the goal is to bring more positive, images when it comes to like the things that you guys experience. Do you guys because I know you do guest interviews and things like that, are you guys getting any requests from your audience to, bring in local people, or what types of requests and responses are you getting from your local community?
Well, when Teen Talk originally started, that's all we had was the local support. So we was always bringing on locals. We was always interviewing young entrepreneurs, young artists. And I created a section where we can interview the young high school students who are excelling in school, but who are not too good at anything. But you're good at school. So we also want to give them recognition as well. Because we know some people are really just school restricted. They don't do anything extra throughout their daily activity. So it's just like, okay, let's come up with different ways to show our teens that we do care about them in the community. And since we grew a large rapport for our community, I was like, okay, I'm now ready to start reaching out to influencers, because I'm tired of our radio program always being overlooked and people not knowing that we exist. I want to show people that we can be just as popular as a commercial radio station while being a nonprofit.
Exactly. Yeah, no, I definitely agree. And that growth, obviously, as you guys continue, you're definitely going to grow. What do you think is the most, have you noticed any trends as far as the different content that you've produced? Like, have you noticed, like, maybe, your talks on community issues have been a bit more powerful than the I don't know, maybe there's entertainment or sports. Like, which issues or topics do you find to be the most powerful when it comes to the different content you guys produce?
Well, I'm glad that you asked that, because when it comes to the content, I look for three different things. I look for how it inspires our youth, how it will educate them, and how will this content elevate their future. So if the content does not have those three things in it, or at least one of them, we don't ever talk about it. Oh, wow. And those three things is what's needed to take our generation to keep it moving forward. So I instill it in my team early, so when they're giving us topics, all of the topics have a purpose. We never talk about something that doesn't have a purpose. Because we look at it as, okay, imagine if you're the audience. They're going to be looking at, okay, why are you guys talking about this? What is the purpose behind it? And if they can say that, then that's when you know we messed up. So I always make them overthink things, just so when something does go wrong, they're always prepared.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I tell you what, I love your spirit. I need you producing on my team, because you have the fire and the enthusiasm to get it done. And I don't know, I just like what I've seen and I've liked what I've seen from you up to this point. Okay, so let's hold on Teen Talk, okay? And I want to get into Let's Talk Billions, because I looked at the Teen Talk, and that reel was one thing, and then you flip to more of a personal perspective, which is the DeSean Brewer. You have the publicist, you have the content creator, you have a young gentleman that is actually working and doing some of the things that he is specifically interested in. And I know your initiatives are a little bit different for Let's Talk Billions than it is for the Teen Talk show. So give us a little introduction on Let's Talk Billions and some of the things that you're looking to achieve with that particular show.
Okay, well, when I originally went over to the production studio, which was Billion Shimmy Studios, I wanted to apply for a job, because at the time I was jobless. I had just lost my job. My previous owner didn't pay the rent. So by him not paying the rent, the owner of that complex evicted us. So all of the employees was just laid off. And for me to be a college student and that happened, it's like, okay, it's hard for me to get a job because I'm always in school during the morning. And a lot of jobs act like they can't accommodate a person who can only work during the afternoon or late shifts. So I'm always forced to stay in the food industry. But when that happened, I was like, okay, I'm not going back to the food industry. I'm tired of this, and I feel like I deserve better. By me going to the production studio, they didn't offer me a paid position, but they also offered me an internship. And at that time, I was like, okay, I'm already doing an internship with Teen Talk. And it doesn't feel like an internship with Teen Talk, because I actually grow the program so rapidly till it's not even an internship. That's actually helping me pave my future forward.
Yeah.
So everything I accept is always a purpose behind it. And my purpose of even accepting the internship at the production studio was just to learn how to be on camera, so I can teach my teens how to be on camera, because I eventually want them to be on TV when it comes to Teen Talk. The Teen Talk is going to be a TV show in the future. But I also want my teams to be already equipped and ready. So whenever somebody say, hey, let's turn this into a show, we're already ready and we don't have to prepare. So that's the real reason why I chose the internship now. And I'm also working on my personal brand, because I also want to have my own personal brand aside from Teen Talk, because I can't be a teen forever. But I still have that passion and that drive to always want to uplift my team. So whatever position I do get, I'm always thinking forward of how I can incorporate this program, or how I can take these same skills and then invest it in them. Due to us being a nonprofit, we don't have professionals that come and teach them. I am the professional. So every position I get, I have to always make sure it's going to be a learning experience and something I can teach my team. Just me going to the Grammys and seeing how you have to carry yourself and conduct yourself, that's an experience, and that could be a workshop that I'm now teaching my teams who never yet experienced it, but when they do experience it, to the world, that's going to shock them, because they're going to assume a teen is going to look starstruck when they see a celebrity. But I'm going to have them already ready for it, to the point they're going to be professionals at such a young age.
Oh, wow. Yeah, and see, now you're stepping into the mentorship role, which I love that about what you're doing. Let's talk a bit about, you just mentioned that you want to be prepared once you get your team and stuff together. So give me like 2 or 3 steps. What are you doing right now? What are some of the steps you're taking to prepare for that next level of success you're looking to obtain?
Well, the first one is actually one of the things a lot of entrepreneurs don't know how to do. and that's delegate. I've always been a person that do everything, and for me to have to delegate these tasks to other people, I now have to entrust in them to do it.
Right.
And to me, that's very hard because I feel like can't nobody do it better than me. But
Right.
even if I feel like that, I still have to entrust in somebody else to do it because I can't do everything in one day. I can't do everything.
That's true.
So now I have to start training people to be equally as good as me. So I'm always taking people underneath my wing. I'm always teaching a person one aspect of things that I'm currently doing. So at least you know this one aspect, because I can't train you on everything at once. But at least if you get the basics of writing, you can do a lot of things. Just knowing how to write is one of the key things to being successful in any industry. Writing and math.
Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, that math, I tell you, that math can be a beast, DeSean. so
it's like, if you can't do math, you need to know how to write. If you can't do both, now you're going to have to make yourself stand out from the crowd because everybody know how to write.
Yeah, well, most people, you're right. Like, give me your take on creative talents and abilities. Like, everybody has that one skill that they just dominate, so like, is there anything in particular that you just absolutely enjoy doing that you really, that you could delegate, but you feel like your skills are up to par where you just kind of take it on yourself?
Yes, social media management. I love posting pop culture on social media, but I love putting my own twist on it. I don't like to be basic, and I see a lot of people will post the same content exactly. It would just be the same exact content. And I'm like, okay, if you was paying attention, you notice that this person had an error. Me, I'm going to teach my teams, don't be lazy. So if you have to recreate somebody's post, recreate it to make it better. Who cares if you took their video, but now your video is going to go viral because you wasn't lazy when it came to your caption. You made sure your caption went with your video. And you also even watermarked your content so nobody can take it.
Oh,
so
wow.
I teach them all these little small things. And to them, it's like, that doesn't matter. But I'm like, if you really think about it, when you start your own business, you're not going to accept anything less than what I've already taught you.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's powerful. That is so powerful coming from a student, and you're definitely years ahead of a lot of aspiring entrepreneurs because you're already getting a lot of the experience and you've obviously done some internships. And I know that, whoever's mentoring you or whoever's wings you're under, obviously they're doing some wonderful things right, which I love.
And it's crazy that you say that because I'm really not underneath anybody's wing. Nobody is really training me on anything that I'm doing. All of my mentors are more so there for support and guidance when I feel like I'm about to give up. And I always find myself coming to those moments when I'm about to give up on one of the things that I'm doing because I'm always doing multiple things. It's never just one. So I have a lot of mentors who would just keep me moving forward, but I really don't have a mentor yet who would yet teach me because there is a lot of things I currently do not know, but I am in college, but I want to be able to know these things before entering that class. So that way I can always be ahead of my class, one, because I have the experience, and two, because I already know how to do it.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what, I love that even more because you just mentioned that, you're not directly under anybody's wings, but, during times where you want to give up, there's obviously certain people that you turn to. So, okay, so now that you have Team Talk, you have a lot of other different things going, you're a student, what are some of the things that you do to kind of keep you going when you do have those moments where you don't feel like taking the next step?
I have to really just sit back and reevaluate the things that I've already done. And I also have to just give myself a mental break. I just have to literally just check out of my mind because my mind is always going. It's always on a go. Sometimes I just have to go to sleep.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I was just about to ask, like, as a student, give me like 2 or 3 tools or resources that you use to take that mental break to disconnect.
I go to sleep. Sometimes I'm always on my phone. So to me, it's the difference when you're on your phone doing something you want to do and when you're on your phone doing something you don't want to do. And you don't want to do it, your mind will not give you the option to do it. It's almost like you just can't stay focused enough to read that little one simple paragraph that you're supposed to read because you keep going to Instagram.
Yeah.
That's how you can tell when somebody really don't want to do it. But I'm always in that moment. I'll be like, okay, it'll take me 2 hours to send one text message because I really don't want to do it.
Yeah.
But my mind gets scatterbrained, and I'm like, okay, I go off to something else. But even as being a college student, I also just join different support groups. And every time I go to college, I always join a Black Student Union because every college I've been to we're always considered the minority. And with that being said, I always have to connect with one of the black professors so I can always have somebody who won't steer me in the wrong direction. Even if they're not my counselor, I just need to be connected with at least one black professor wherever I go so I can ensure that I will have a successful school year.
Yeah.
I've already experienced where they'll tell you one thing and it's something different when it comes to your schooling, or they say you don't owe anything, and then when you go off to school, they say that you owe $7,000. I had to actually experience that because I went off to Bethune-Cookman University, and before I got on the flight, they said I didn't owe anything. But when I arrived, they said I owed $7,000.
Oh, wow.
I didn't have $7,000, so I was forced to stay there for 7 days stranded with nowhere to stay. Luckily, I had friends who was able to take me in and feed me, but just that whole experience and me having to go through that, and I really wanted to be at that university, that's what actually stopped me from going to school for 1 year. But I was like, okay, I need to just go to school. I need a break. But even though I'm not in school, I need to see exactly how far can I elevate in 1 year. Will I be able to tell myself I don't need to go to school? Because there's one thing when people say, yeah, I don't need school. Okay, if you don't need school, let's see exactly what you could do in 1 year without it.
Oh, wow, yeah.
And I really didn't do much. So I was like, yep, I need school. So that's why I went back to school, but I gave myself 1 year. Because I always had people who was willing to give me sponsorships and give me scholarships. But because I didn't really like school, it's always hard for me to stay focused. Because I had to start over. The experience of me not being able to go to Bethune-Cookman University and them not giving me back my transcripts, it made me start over. So not only did I have to start over, I had to mentally tell myself that I was starting over. Because I had a semester full of credits. But because they said I owed and they didn't want to give me my transcript, it made me start over. So that was another milestone in my life, because if I would have stayed at that HBCU, my life would not be where it is now. I would have never taken this path, because even though I'm living this path, I still regret it internally because I've always wanted to go to an HBCU. I've always wanted to pledge to a brother line. And so now that everything is picking up for me, I can't even go up to an HBCU because I can't allow myself to be tied down. So it is one thing that I do regret, but it's just one of those things where you just have to do what is best for yourself. And then sometimes what you want is not what's meant for you.
That's true. That's absolutely true. I mean, and at the end of the day, it's obviously a learning experience, and the best thing is to just keep looking forward. You definitely don't want to get distracted if you've made it this far without attending that top pick university that you wanted. And then just like you said, sometimes college is not for everybody. There's different things that people can do. And I like the fact that you mentioned that you put you said, hey, I'm gonna give myself a year and see if it's something that I need, or if it's, if it's meant for me. And luckily for you, you were able to determine, your next step. So that is good. And it brings me to the question of your college experience. Like, how are you managing your time? You mentioned focus earlier. So how are you managing being able to do your different TV programs? And I know you probably have some extracurriculars and studying and stuff like that, but how do you stay focused?
Honestly, I stay focused because I know, because I have that entrepreneurship mindset, I know if I don't do it, nobody else will. So I have to always keep doing it, because I know if I don't do it, nobody else will. And I do have a team, yes, but what's the priority to me might not be a priority to somebody else.
Right.
So it's the difference. I have people who can do it, but will they make that a priority? And that's where I always find myself having to do it, because I don't like waiting on people.
Yeah.
I don't like waiting on people when I can do it myself.
Yeah.
Especially if I can do it myself.
Love it. Love it, DeSean. The next Steve Harvey, within the next, I don't know, 5-10 years, I'm looking forward to seeing you on maybe a handful of 200,000 different TV shows and hosting different programs and stuff like that. I definitely feel like you have obviously you have the demeanor, and you have the talent and skill and the passion for it. So wishing you much success in the future. And before we wrap up, leave us with some words of encouragement for anybody that's listening, or somebody that's inspiring to be a producer and kind of walking in some of the shoes that you have right now.
Definitely. Well, my favorite quote will always be, if it's meant to be, then it's up to me, NAACP. And that was the very first quote I ever heard when I started being a part of the Black Student Union. And it resonated with me because if it's meant to you, it will happen, regardless of what anybody tell you, regardless of what type of no's or what type of struggles you're going to go through before you get there. But if it's meant for you, you're going to go through all the hurdles to get there. And that's a quote that I live by every day, because every day I'm doing something that somebody told me was impossible to do.
Love it. What's that? Drop it for us one more time.
If it's meant to be, then it's up to me, NAACP.
Oh, wow. Love that. All right, DeSean, let us know where we can reach you online if there's anybody that's looking to connect or just to kind of follow you. Drop all your website, social media handles, anything else that you want to leave.
Well, definitely, if you guys would like to connect on the professional level, you can add me on LinkedIn at DeSean Brewer, DeSean, last name Brewer, Brewer. And I also can be found on Instagram at DeSean B Official. So it makes it very easy. And if you also would like to follow Let's Talk Billions or Team Talk, all of that information can be found on my page. So just go to DeSean B Official, and it's going to be a one-stop shop for you.
All right, perfect. Ladies and gentlemen, DeSean Brewer. Definitely appreciate having you as a guest, DeSean. You take care, and thanks so much for taking the time out to speak with us.
No problem. You guys enjoy the rest of your day.
Thanks for hanging out with us here on SOB. We hope this episode has been resourceful. If you'd like to check out the latest articles or follow Keetria's website updates, just log on to Keetria.com or follow her on Twitter at KEETRIA.